Hey guys, Strong Studio's back again. The full team is back. The trio is back together.
Band is back together.
We got
Justin, the Orange Dream.
Noah.
And it's me, Alex, your Strong Studio champion. The champion is always introduced last. Come on.
He threw me though. Just saying.
Okay. And we're here with another episode of Running the Ropes. The last Running the Ropes before the Royal Rumble, the road to WrestleMania is about to begin. And we are super nervous, and we'll get to that. And then we have more TNA stuff. I know we said we were never going to talk about them again, but like cockroaches, they just keep popping up, you know. And then we have some ROH stuff to talk about. But let's start things off with the big thing going on right now, which is the Royal Rumble this Sunday. It's a big one. You know, I don't think I can remember the last time I was this nervous going into a Royal Rumble about the potential of what a WrestleMania card could be. Like, this is nerve-wracking to me.
Yeah, it's a pretty big mystery right now in a lot of places. We don't know who Cena's going to face right now. We don't know who's going to face the champion. They haven't really built to a lot of guys.
No, you know, they started the... Well, let's talk about the fact that Dave Batista has come back to the WWE after 4 years to a very lukewarm reception.
Yeah.
Well, they did his return weird.
They did.
They teased it at the beginning, and then he didn't come out. But then he came out after the whole Orton Triple H segment, and then he came back again to beat up Del Rio, which who cares?
Yeah.
So
I will say though, like the plan right now, the rumored plan is to have him win the Royal Rumble and face Orton. Now, what would have happened if that had happened, but they had kept his appearance a complete secret, and he had just shown up at the Royal Rumble and won?
I think that's what they wanted.
Yeah,
like
it got leaked.
But like how?
Yeah.
But like that I know that. Like that's what the plan was. But like, do you think that would have really worked with fans? Like, do you think fans would have been okay with that, or do you think people would be like, wait, what the fuck?
Well, I feel like I don't know. It's been done so much. Like, have him come back and win. Like, they've done so many surprise guys coming back.
Like John Cena at the 2008.
Cena, Triple H coming back from injury, Edge coming back from injury, winning, Undertaker surprisingly winning. They've had so many guys just surprise enter and win. Like, I wish they would just build up to some guy winning.
Right. The only thing is that I think it's a little bit different in this scenario just because Batista's been gone for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that the crowd would have received it well at the pay-per-view, but if WWE thinks that they're going to bring in Batista and they're going to get the numbers they got from The Rock, they're mistaken.
No.
Batista is not the same caliber of The Rock. You can't throw them into the same spotlight and expect the same results.
See, Rock is a level up from Cena in popularity. Batista's level down.
I would probably say, like, The Rock is like Hulk Hogan, and Dave Batista is like Kevin Nash. There's a big drop in, like, you know, popularity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Batista's always seemed a guy that was popular when he had the right guys around him, but as a singles guy, I never thought he could really draw on his own. I mean, I'm not trying to knock him.
I think he definitely has
power,
potential. I think that this match, Randy Orton versus Batista, this is a good match for WrestleMania. I like it. It's got history. It's easily booked. I don't like it with the belt on the line.
Yeah,
and I like
agree.
it in the main event.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, if it was for the... Now,
it'd be a good way for him to return to the roster.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it's for the belt. Like this is Mania, okay? And you expect? You remember last year at the Raw after Mania when Randy Orton and Sheamus had the crowd hijack their match and take it. That's what's going to happen in WrestleMania if this happens for the belt. The crowd is going to take this match and they're going to be chanting for Daniel Bryan the entire match. They're going to be not giving a shit about this match.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, I would agree. There's not much room for error in their match.
No,
because there's so much. There's going to be so much else the crowd is going to want to see on the show. So if this match it doesn't live up to a standard, it's going to get shit.
They're going to be fighting uphill with the big time.
Batista, he looks, to his credit, he's still in great shape.
Yeah.
He looks even more mobile. I think.
He does.
From his MMA stuff.
Yeah.
But just because he is still athletic. Still a great athlete. Does that mean that he's ready to come back and be in the main?
He's been away from
the ring. It's way too
4 years is a long time.
He's been away from the ring a long time. I mean, Lesnar came back and did it, but
Brock did it, but he at least had that match with Survivor Series to prove like, hey, I can still go.
Has Batista been training in the ring? The Rock did.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I heard something about him training with someone. I don't know if it was like a wrestling guy though. I don't know who it was.
But it is kind of weird for a guy to just come back and then be put in the main. I mean, I know Rock did it, but that's
Rock. It's totally different. And plus, he was kind of wrestling John Cena. It wasn't for the belt, and it was kind of a dream match that everyone wanted to see.
Right. And if this is their business model going forward that we'll just bring somebody in every year a month before Mania.
Right.
You're gonna run that well's gonna run dry quick.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it works because the Undertaker, because everyone, I mean, he's the Undertaker, and that's what he does every year, because he's been doing it for so long. We know he can probably only do one big match a year.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, bringing back so many guys around, like if they bring Jericho back again, Jericho
I don't think Jericho's going to be back this year.
Okay.
And the thing about Jericho is that he's returned so many times that to me it's just like, oh there's Jericho,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, I'd like to see it, but
it's almost like when Shawn Michaels would come back and, you know, like back when he was still wrestling, like he'd just come back and like, okay, he's here for a little while and then he's leaving. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and it never really shatters what's going on in this title scene or anything like that. He's just kind of
it's just like an extra bonus, you know, like okay,
he's putting guys over and this and that.
Yeah.
So in addition to Batista, who do we think could win the Rumble?
Obviously I think the only two competitors is Batista or Daniel Bryan. Like those are the only two guys.
If Bryan enters the Rumble,
he's going to be entering the Rumble. He's going to enter. There's no question about it.
I don't know. There've been a lot of news stories that say he won't, but it could be a
okay. Well, listen.
swerve.
If they don't have him enter the Rumble, then those fans are going to turn on that match. They're going to be cheering for Daniel Bryan.
Well, maybe not because they won't know until 30 if he's.
But then as soon as that 30's up, they're going to be wanting Daniel Bryan. Okay. WWE needs to realize.
The thing is that if Punk, we have to remember that Punk was put in at
number one. Yeah.
So he's got a story going in.
He's the only other one besides Batista with any story.
So
yeah.
It might come down to those two.
Punk and Batista, and Punk gets screwed over, and that leads up to.
But here's what I'm thinking though.
That's what I'm looking at.
Trademark had a really good idea. It's like they do Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan as the opener. Daniel Bryan gets beat down by the Wyatt family during the match, and then he enters number 30. But, you know, he comes out, he's injured or whatever. He eliminates the Wyatt family during the match of the Rumble. You know, it'd be an awesome comeback.
Yeah, I mean these are all great fantasies, but WWE doesn't deliver on my fantasies.
Then they're an idiot, okay? But like also, let me point out something right now though, is that if they decide to come down to Daniel Bryan and Batista as the final two, you gotta let Daniel Bryan win because if Batista eliminates Daniel Bryan, that crowd is gonna murder Batista.
I think Batista. I think Bryan. I actually do think Bryan will be in the Rumble. And I think he has a good chance of winning. I don't think he's going to enter last. I actually would put Cena in at 30 and have Cena be one of the last two guys.
I think Cena might actually win the belt. If they decide to do Daniel Bryan winning the Rumble, I could see Cena win the belt because I don't think they're going to do Orton and Bryan.
See, I would prefer that. Then we can see Cena versus Bryan for the title,
which
and we could still have Batista Orton.
Yeah, exactly. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and then it wouldn't be for the title.
So I think that'd be a smart idea. Like that's for me is like the best plan. And plus, you know, they want down John Cena said like Daniel Bryan, I'm going to give you a title match. So,
and I just don't know what else they would have Cena do if he's not wrestling for the belt or wrestling.
Yeah, it seems like he'd be kind of out of the picture.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about the other potential matches that they got? Which, well, actually, we'll get to that when we get to talk about TNA, I guess.
TNA?
About Sting. What do you want to talk about now?
Let's just talk about
Sting. Well, Sting's contract with TNA apparently has expired. It's not 100% sure if it's kayfabe or whatever, but WWE's in serious talks with the thing, and it looks like Sting really might be coming to the WWE. And if he comes to the WWE, there's only one match they can do.
Which
him and Undertaker.
One match people really want to see.
Yeah, that's true. And you know me, I'm not the biggest Sting fan, especially nowadays. But I can't deny that those two guys in a match is going to be
a big deal.
It'd be a spectacle.
Yeah.
You know that the match itself is not going to be anything blow away.
No.
But
it's going to be the moment.
Yeah, and you know that the build for this match and the hype for it, and right before the bell rings, man, can you imagine just seeing that little kid in you is coming back? Like,
oh yeah,
it's going to be like butterflies in my stomach if that happens.
It's gonna be like Rock and Hogan.
And I have shit on Sting for the past year
or more.
Yeah.
Well,
we all have. We all have.
So, even after all that,
I'll be excited.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is just Sting was just languishing in TNA for so long, just being just
it's gonna be interesting
doing things he shouldn't be doing. Basically.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. But
I'm not so sure Sting is coming back. I just haven't heard a reputable source.
Yeah, it's it's all, but
that's true. I mean, I've heard rumors about even RVD coming back.
Yeah.
To Rumble. So
we'll see. But if that does happen, I'll be that'll be awesome because it's a once in a lifetime dream match we never thought we'd see, and obviously it'd just be something spectacle.
I think they might do Taker versus Brock Lesnar.
I don't know, man. I think Lesnar in the ring with Taker is just too dangerous. But again,
awesome.
the thing is, I don't know if Taker would want to work with a guy who would be so rough.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Again,
There's
yeah,
lots of
again.
possibilities.
It's a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like this, Royal Rumble is going to determine a lot about this.
The only thing is there's a lot of possibilities for great matches on Mania, and there's a lot of potential that they're just going to drop the ball completely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's going to be some stuff though that's going to end up being damn
well,
good.
that's just
Yeah.
WWE, not WWE.
Yeah.
But and let's talk about the big news coming out of the WWE, which is the WWE Network.
Finally happening.
Finally happening, yeah. And I gotta say, they blew me away with what they're offering. I mean, for $10 a month, you get every single TV show they got, including NXT, which I'm super happy about that NXT is gonna get out there more.
Mm-hmm.
You get every pay-per-view, including WrestleMania. That's a huge money saver. And every single ECW, WCW, WWE, WWF episode of Raw, SmackDown, everything in backlog.
Access to the vault.
You get
Yeah.
the vault.
I think that's a great. I mean, I'm shocked that they came out with $10 a month is worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is humongous. Think about this. If you bought every pay-per-view,
You spend like over $200 a month or a year.
over that,
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like close to like $600
Oh yeah,
a month.
right.
Or not a month, but a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're talking $10 a month.
120 a year.
Just, and then like you said, all this, the whole archive. But look at it even further. Look at the independent scene. Each show is $15.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending $10 for every show ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's, I mean, this is a real Hail Mary
Yeah.
from WWE.
But at the same time, though, if you think about it, it might very well be a good move for them, just in terms of the exposure, but also so many people.
Feel kind of jaded almost.
Well, no, I'm saying like in terms of the money. Like if
Yeah.
people watch a pay-per-view, they will try to get with at least 5 or 6 other friends
Yeah.
and watch it, or they'll just download it or stream
Right.
it. So like, how many people are even paying? This might get a lot more people to pay. They might
Yeah.
make more money off it. We don't know.
And also like there'll be less backlash for a bad pay-per-view probably.
Yeah.
Because like if you pay
$10
$60 for a pay-per-view and it's a shitty pay-per-view like Battleground, you're gonna get some backlash from fans. So this might help cut back on that.
And some people might just buy simply for the archive and not even for the pay-per-view.
I would.
I would.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
yeah.
An amazing offer here.
I know.
I'm interested to see how this is going to affect all the rest of the wrestling industry.
It's gonna be
huge. The
Well,
television,
TV industry, like
yeah.
ESPN and stuff too.
just completely changing everything.
Yeah.
This is big.
I will say
We might see the death of pay-per-views not in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
maybe. I was saying to like some friends, it's like like if I was smarter, man, I would have invested in WWE stock before they made its announcement because the stock has skyrocketed since this announcement. And just like, man,
I wish I could get this network.
yeah, I wish we could too. But we're cheap asses, so.
Well, I mean, I'd pay for it.
Yeah.
My cable provider just sucks.
Oh, there you go.
Can you say fuck you to your cable company?
Go ahead. Say
Yeah, fuck you, WoW.
there you go. All right. And last, but from WWE, we have to talk a personal note, which is the MSU Spartans, our home team, supporting Daniel Bryan. And we are so happy to see that because we're big MSU fans.
I'm a graduate.
As you can see.
Yes. My girlfriend is a current student at MSU, so I'm,
I was in the I-Zone for 4 years, and that's who's been doing the Yes Chants. I wish I would have been there while they were doing the Yes Chants,
Yep.
but yeah,
We're gonna
it was
do
so
that.
awesome to see. According to Dave Meltzer, the fact that they were seeing a whole stadium doing Yes Chants, they decided to turn Bryan back to a face.
We completely forgot to mention that. We should talk about that right now. The Daniel Bryan face turn.
That's what we are talking about.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
well. Yeah, nice okay, yeah, it was a total transition right there. Yeah, let's talk about that 2 weeks ago, where Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt had a cage match with the Usos, which was actually an okay match. Then the end of the match happens, and it looks like Bray Wyatt's going to lay out Daniel Bryan again, and Daniel Bryan shoves him off, and that crowd went electric.
Yep, strips off his jumpsuit.
No, well, at first he just stares at him, and like that crowd was going crazy.
Yeah.
And then he beats the hell out of Bray Wyatt for a while, strips off the Wyatt uniform, and proceeds to go like this.
The slow Yes.
And the entire crowd starts joining in with him, and it's just like they slowly pan that camera back. You just see the whole crowd joining in with him right in unison. I have never, in like the past 10 years of wrestling, seen a crowd be in the palm of some guy's hand like that.
Yeah, that honestly, that scene reminded me of Austin
That
at the end of Raw,
yeah.
or watching wrestling from the 80s when the fans were just
Hogan
liquid hot, just crazy hot.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was an amazing scene.
And let's not forget here that Daniel Bryan did this when he had a concussion. He got a concussion in that match. So we will remember that for the rest of our lives. Daniel Bryan will never remember that moment again because he doesn't remember a thing.
Yeah.
That was insane.
They said that there was a moment on top of the cage where he kind of came back into this stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
He just like wake up on top of a cage.
Well, what happened was like he was up there and like he didn't know what to do. And like there's a camera guy like laying on the floor like right below him like doing this, like telling him to do that.
Yeah. What if he would have thought, is the match over? Maybe I should jump off.
Headbutt? Do a headbutt?
Yeah.
But that was awesome.
That was incredible.
The thing, okay, going back, so I'm kind of backtracking a bit, but the whole thing about Daniel Bryan, if he's entering the Rumble or not, they've been publishing like stories about him not entering the Rumble, but there's an interview saying like, oh, Triple H is holding
That's what I'm saying. I think it's kayfabe.
It sounds like it might be a story.
Which, by the way, did we talk about Undertaker wanting a match with Bryan?
No.
I don't think we did, but whatever. So Undertaker personally asked that he wants a match with Daniel Bryan.
You should get one.
That would be interesting. I would.
Who are they to deny the Undertaker?
Yeah,
really.
So like I would say maybe like if Undertaker's willing to wrestle for like maybe not WrestleMania but maybe SummerSlam.
Extreme Rules.
Yeah, Extreme Rules. If Undertaker can make it for another match, because that would be awesome.
They can do it at a house show as long as they film and I get to watch it. I don't care.
Yeah, but that would be very interesting.
Two things have to happen. One of two things I will accept.
Okay.
These are the only acceptable things regarding Daniel Bryan. He either has to win the Royal Rumble and go for the title, or he has to face Shawn Michaels. Those are my only two options.
My other two, I'll counter that with mine. Like those two as well, or I'd like to see him versus Lesnar, because the biggest monster in the WWE versus the biggest babyface in the WWE, that'd be pretty cool. Or him versus Taker.
Title or Michaels?
Okay.
Michaels, man.
Michaels,
man.
Yeah, I would cream
Michaels takes priority for me, though. I would say that's a dream.
Honestly, if they did that, I would.
My body would not be.
I would forgive them for all the shit.
Yeah, I might have to turn off wrestling forever and just be like, that's it. That's good.
Yep. Never gonna do that.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Okay, let's switch over to TNA, which let's talk about the biggest thing that they got going on right now, which is Sting possibly leaving in the shittiest fashion possible. I watched Impact last night. I have no fucking idea why I did, but I did.
Nothing better.
I'm like a drug addict. I keep going back to that.
You got problems.
I got problems.
You're like an abused wife as well. I think wife beater's wife.
Yeah.
But so they have him versus Madness in a no DQ match, and of course shit happens with interference, and basically Sting gets beat the hell out of. A shitty Michinoku driver is the end of the match, and he's laying there while the heels pose and rip up his contract, and that's how TNA goes off the air. That is the last moment you might ever see Sting in TNA being stood over by Dixie Carter, Magnus, and Ethan Carter.
Yeah.
The icon Sting.
Yeah, this is kind of a sidebar, but didn't Sting in his last title match, if he lost, he couldn't get the title again?
The way they worked it at the last week's show was like, Magnus like, I'll let you have your title match if I sound like Wade Barrett there, whatever.
That did kind of sound like Barrett, yeah.
If like Sting puts up his contract, that was the exception. So
still stupid.
I know it's of course
not. You can never do it unless somebody else decides that they're going to let you do it. That's not the fucking stipulation.
I know.
And I kind of feel bad because I thought Magnus had a lot of potential for them, but they gave him the belt, and it seems like
they made him look like a bitch.
Nobody cares that he's champion.
Yeah,
right. And they really have. They protected him a lot with these. Well, not protected him. They just made him look like shit with all these run-ins.
Yeah.
And I don't really have as big a problem with you on the way that Sting left TNA. I mean, it's kind of disrespectful, but the fact is, like, he's leaving to go get a huge payday a couple months later.
But my whole thing is, like, if they were really wanting to be serious about Sting leaving, like, shouldn't they have him, like, be...
After
like,
how much they're all over his balls.
Like, how much he helped them out for so many years. Like, shouldn't they have him, like, do, like, a posing with the crowd, have, like, guys from the back come out and, like, pat him on the back and send him on his way or whatever, Shouldn't they have something like, kind of like with AJ Styles, like, the guy is leaving, but he still helped put you over. Give him like something out the door. That's one thing that WWE does pretty well, I thought, is like always.
Well, the problem I had more with the segment was that they protected Sting on his way out. And I don't understand, and they did the same thing for AJ.
Yeah.
Why can't your champion go over...
Because he's a heel.
These big names, if they're leaving. Just pin them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Sting had a match with Ethan Carter, and
He
like,
could be a heel against your roster
Yeah.
and do the cheating thing, but why not show and prove that he can be
Yeah.
the best?
It's not going to hurt someone.
yeah,
Gonna
same
be
thing.
fine.
Same thing. Like Sting had a match with Ethan Carter. Like, okay, this is gonna be Ethan Carter's chance to shine. It was like a 5-minute match that had a bunch of screwy special guest referee shenanigans, and like, well, Ethan Carter just looked like a bitch because he could have had a chance to pin Sting before Sting left, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
I just don't agree with that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, let's talk about something that TNA is actually doing right, I think, which is they brought in the American Wolves, Dave Richards and Edwards, which I never thought I would see those guys in TNA ever. And they're doing. They didn't have them wrestle because why would you have two greatest wrestlers in the world wrestle on your TV show?
They didn't have Tanahashi and Okada wrestle?
That's okay.
They did have Okada at one time, though.
Yeah, and they fucked that up too. They
Yeah,
had
they did.
Tanahashi too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they cut a really good promo on the week show, like kind of like building up, and like actually it was a really good promo, I thought.
It was unique.
Yeah.
I think Edwards' delivery was particularly convincing, but
Eddie's never.
that's just typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked it, and like I could be curious to see what they do with the American Wolves.
Yeah, it actually seems like an interesting
If
angle.
they, as long as they do Bad Influence versus the Wolves and Davey versus Kurt Angle, I'll be happy.
I did have a problem with the way that they brought them in, though.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
it was really weird.
they say they're going to bring in, and they're teasing the fans. They're going to bring somebody in, and so they do. They bring these guys in, but who are they appealing to? Because the most of your fan base have no idea who these people are.
Yeah.
So you show them in a backstage segment getting a contract. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
That could be Joe Schmo.
Yeah, I mean, I
Or
care, but I've watched.
Are you
ROH.
appealing to the fans that know who they are? Well, I know who they are. I didn't tune in to see them wearing ties.
Yeah.
I want to see them wrestle. So let's get to the punch, man. You've been playing this bait and switch game for 10 to 12 years now.
Yeah.
Can we please just give us something? Just start giving us stuff. Like, for
God's
God's sake. Give me a reason. I don't tune in to watch people in
Just
fucking
give me a
slacks,
reason,
dude.
as Pink would say.
I don't tune in to
He
watch.
quoted Pink and Nate Russo.
I like that quote. I don't tune in to watch people in slacks.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, the thing is, though, the Wolves, I'm a huge fan of the Wolves, both of them. I am a giant Davey Richards American pick.
Love Eddie Edwards.
Love Eddie
yeah.
Edwards,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're my favorite tag team. One of my favorite
One
tag
of
teams
them, yeah.
ever. But even that they're brought in, TNA is just such a mess. I can't.
Yeah,
Even with them and Aries as X Division champion, I can't bother myself to watch the show unless things change a lot.
Yeah.
Still,
Well, we might be losing one of those reasons to watch, which is Bad Influence. Their
that's a
contracts.
big reason too.
Their contracts are expiring soon. Now, this is internet rumors, but you never know. But it's worth mentioning. And apparently, the word is that Daniels will be taking a pay cut probably because that's what they're doing with everyone.
Right.
And if I
all
was
the people to make him
Yeah.
pay cut Daniels, who's
Yeah.
busted his ass for him.
exactly,
But here's the big thing, though. Like, if TNA can't keep Bad Influence, that's going to send a message to the rest of the locker room. You're going to see, I think Storm might take
well,
off.
the fact that they couldn't keep AJ is a big message.
Right, but
Right.
Bad Influence are guys that have been there that long, and they're not top guys. So I'm sure that there's people in the locker room who see these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they got nowhere else to go, really.
Well,
So-
Daniels could go back to ROH. in a
Exactly.
heartbeat.
So we'll see if it.
And
Kazarian could go on. And,
Kazarian would
Mhm.
definitely go to the ROH. They'd pick him up. They'd pick those two guys up in a heartbeat.
yeah.
No, I believe that.
Yeah. Well, and right now there's also a rumor that MVP might be debuting in TNA, which I like MVP, and that'd be kind of cool to see him back on TV. But it's like whatever.
Yeah.
All
The thing is, if it's the expensive guys who are good paying MVP, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's end this one on a little bit of a high note, which involves ROH, which they got a really, really solid show coming up this Saturday in Pittsburgh, which our buddy Tommy's going to, and he's going to
Very cool.
Royal Rumble. Like he's son of a bitch. Which involved originally there was going to be a 2-out-3 falls between Roderick Strong and Paul London, which I was super looking forward to.
Number one contender match, right?
Yep, the number one contender match.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Roddy hurt his neck during an AJ Styles match on television. Took a bad Styles clash.
Brutal.
Yeah, he had to pull out of last week's Evolve shows, and he had to pull out this week from the ROH show. So we wish us very speedy recovery to Roddy. We love Roddy. We're big fans of Roddy. Camp Strong.
Yeah.
So hopefully he gets back soon. But they did do a really good job of putting on a good substitution, I think, which is going to be Paul London versus Cedric Alexander, a guy who I think is really a good up-and-comer in ROH and in independent wrestling in general.
And now this isn't for still a
No. Like they said, we'll look at we're gonna figure out what to do with the number one contender match. They're probably gonna put London in the match anyway. But and they are gonna reschedule the 2-out-3 falls match probably for the 12th anniversary show maybe.
That match is gonna be sweet.
That is going to be awesome. That is going to be awesome. But I think this is going to be a big opportunity for Cedric Alexander to show what he's got, and I really do think this guy has a lot of potential. Also on that show will be Matt Hardy and Adam Cole teaming up against the Briscoes, teaming up against Michael Elgin and Chris Hero, which should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see Hero.
Be cool
For
to
sure.
see the Briscoes tagging up again.
Yep.
I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also will have Kevin Steen versus Kyle O'Reilly, which I think that might be. It's not a first time matchup, but it's the first time we've seen it in a long time. I know that for sure.
And that should be a fun match.
That would be
It'll
really
be the biggest match. They've
Yeah, Kyle definitely has improved a lot. So seeing him what he can do against Steen should be interesting. But yeah, and just a lot going on in ROH right now, and this is the time to be watching because they are really, I think, building up to something big for WrestleMania weekend. They got a lot going their way, so. Including a rumor which do we want to talk about? Just address the. You want to address the rumor just in case?
Well, you've already brought it up.
Let's
bring it
out of
up.
the bag.
It's by Dave Meltzer reported, so I think that gives us some air that Tanahashi is. There's rumors that ROH is trying to bring in Tanahashi, and if that happens,
would be unbelievable.
that would
Amazing.
be the biggest fucking thing that ROH has done in a long, long time.
Yeah, that would be a dream come true.
Michael Elgin versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the IWGP Intercontinental title.
The word is that it would
That-
probably be either at an NYC show or in Toronto, and most people believe it will be in Toronto because in Canada they don't have to pay for the work visas.
Right.
That's a good point. And
That's how they got
dude,
Kushida in last year.
Elgin in his hometown versus Tanahashi,
That would be huge.
Amazing.
That'd be awesome.
that would be big.
Yeah, and I think that
And plus-
that would put Elgin over so huge.
And plus, let's be honest, New York doesn't deserve that. They haven't earned that.
No, they'd probably chant things that
They would know who
wouldn't-
Tanahashi
yeah.
is.
No respect.
No respect. Yeah, sorry to trademark. I know you go to all the Chicago, New York shows, but New York sucks dick, and even he has acknowledged that they suck nowadays.
Yeah.
So we really don't like New York. Sorry.
I mean the crowds.
We don't like-
city's
We
beautiful.
don't love New York.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't. Like across.
Okay,
Don't
we don't like New York wrestling fans, but that would be a very, very big thing for ROH, and I
It'd be
really,
huge.
if that happens, we might have to make a trip to Toronto.
I'm gonna
I
have to
might
get
try.
my
I
passport.
have to get a passport. Oh no, we just have to get the
new
driver's
license.
license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Yep.
I gotta become a donor anyway, so might as
Yeah.
well.
All right.
Mhm.
But anything else to add? Anything? Oh, well, we could talk about New Japan coming up pretty soon. Like their shit.
We can.
They got well, they're gonna have a rematch of Tanahashi Nakamura at the next pay-per-view, which I think is actually next weekend.
It's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be awesome. They also will be having the Bucks taking on Time Splitters.
That should be a lot of fun.
That should be.
But you know that you mentioned that one thing that bugs me about New Japan is their junior tag division. They don't give enough time.
No, they
Yeah,
don't.
they don't.
Because
Like
these
8
guys,
minutes
I
is about
know
the
they
time.
can have
Oh my
amazing
God.
matches. and
Give
they
these
just
guys
never give them
15
the
minutes and you'll be blown away.
Well, they give them time on house shows, but on the
I'm
pay-per-view.
trying to remember who Okada faces for the title. I think he might be facing. He doesn't face Naito again. No, Naito is actually going to be taking on Ishii.
That should be really
That's
good.
gonna be really
That should
good.
be good.
Man, I'm
I
drawing
honestly
a
don't
blank
know
by
either.
who Okada is facing, and I feel really bad about that. Because it was
Yeah, well.
oh well,
Yeah.
must not have been that important.
It's
Oh,
probably like the greatest match of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
it is worth mentioning that the Young Bucks will not be at Wrestle Kingdom, or not Wrestle Kingdom,
WrestleMania
WrestleMania weekend, WrestleCon. They won't be there because they're going to be over in New Japan. That really sucks
Well, New
for them.
Japan.
right.
Well, New Japan must be fairly serious about it.
And you know, I heard that Kevin Steen's going to be having a match with
Sato Tanaka.
Tanaka.
That should
Yeah,
be
that should
pretty
be
sweet.
brutal.
At
Yeah.
CZW, man.
Yeah, that should be sweet.
Man, I gotta tell you, man, CZW is kind of finding a way to draw me into their shows because they got their 50th anniversary. They got
It's that damn death match.
No, well, no,
Cage of Death.
they got Drew Gulak versus AJ Styles for their 50th anniversary show, and Drake Younger, AR Fox. I
I
can't
love
remember.
Younger, man.
Yeah.
Younger, yeah.
I
Fox.
think Andrew Everett and Bill what's his name, Biff Busick in a 4-way match for the number 1 contender spot. That's gonna be awesome. So
He's amped about the Cage of Death. reviews
no,
we've been doing, yeah. He's amped about Prince Justice.
Yeah. The other night he called Biff Busick Biff Lebifsky.
you know I can kind
Names is not. You're not.
No.
That's not your best.
I watch too much wrestling. I get names confused. All right. Thank you for making fun of me, you assholes.
No problem, man.
It's our job.
Go fuck yourselves. All right, guys.
that note-
Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you tune in for our Royal Rumble review, which should be coming out very soon after the Rumble, maybe even the night of. Probably not, though.
We'll
And
see.
check out our Cage of Death series.
Yeah, well,
Review,
this is
live
going to come out before the Cage of Death videos. But we do have to do we have our end of the year videos, which we put out a while ago, and we will be having this guy's videos up as well.
Yep.
So, video. So make sure you check out both those or all 4 of them.
We
And
got all kinds of stuff.
we got a lot of shit coming your way. I mean, we're keeping
A lot of good
this
shit.
Better
A lot of
load
good
up
shit.
on
Yeah.
that TP,
Yep.
boys, because some shit's coming at you.
And by the way, we still need 120 subscribers so I can chop this guy as payback for chopping me. So,
Nobody wants to
I'll
see
take a
that.
chop and we'll get 1 million. How about that?
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Take care, guys. Bye.